Hi, this is just Zach Glow here, just at FitMetabolism, and today I wanted to talk about kind of everything we've talked about in the previous blog. So I'm going to kind of join them all together. So the first thing was the Buddha belly breathing with the core activation, with the shoulder blade or scapula stabilization, and glute medius firing. And we're going to get all those in this one exercise. And this is kind of an exercise I think a lot of people have seen, but don't realize the benefit, the complete benefit of this exercise. So I got Shane here again, and what we're going to do is get to the table position. So go ahead and get on in a bent knee position. So what I'm looking for here when he's setting himself up, when you're setting yourself up, is making sure both shoulders are directly in line with the wrists, as well as both hips are directly in line with the knees. So you can just bring your knees up just slightly on both sides. Good. And this is kind of a thing I like to do with a lot of clients as well, just to make sure they're in the right position and they understand what we're looking for out of this. And the biggest thing I'm looking at here is making sure his back is flat or is in a neutral position. So what I like to do for him, if you could do it for me, is do a cat camel. What I'm doing with a cat camel is just trying to do an anterior and posterior tilt of your hips. So go ahead and do the cat for me. So that's your posterior tilt, core is nice and engaged as best you can, and then do the anterior tilt or the camel. Try and get as far as you can. Keep his head in a neutral position for me. Good. And just do one more for me. Go ahead, Shane. Good. You can hear he's exhaling really well. Inhaling, exhaling very, very well. Okay, good. And when you kind of feel it, you get that flat back after you've done a couple of those. Perfect. Nice flat back. Now, from this position, first thing we're going to do is just do a regular leg extension. And leg extension here, the most important part is to make sure his core is engaged. When his core is engaged, you know that both hips are facing down to the ground when he lifts his one leg up. So if you want to do that for me, Shane, go ahead and lift the right leg up into a leg extension. Core is nice and engaged. Hold that position. Core is perfect. Now, bring it back down. So everything looks pretty good there. And we're going to do the exact same thing. I like to test it. I'm going to put a marker just in the middle of his back. So if the marker falls off, you know he's changed his hip position. So go ahead again for me. Core's engaged, lift that leg up. Hold that position, good, and then come back down slowly. Very well done. Now, once you've got that down, the transition will be into a bird dog or a cross crawl, where he's going to do the exact same thing, a leg extension of the right leg with the left arm, so the opposite arm. Go ahead for me. Going to get a quick pause there and then come back down. You just keep doing a couple more for me. Go ahead, Shane. So the key is to make sure you're doing it in a natural range of motion. So it's slow and controlled. It's not a race. And to understand what you're supposed to be feeling. And the goal is to try and keep this lower back, as flat as he possibly can when he does lift that leg up. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to put the pen marker back down on here. Go ahead for me, Shane. Same side. As long as it doesn't fall off, that's good. You know you've got a pretty good job at this. How to make this even harder, you can put a ball in the middle of that back to see if it can stay, to make it a little more challenging. Now, this is a great exercise. You know, I recommend starting off just with a leg extension and then transferring into the cross crawl where you're doing the opposite arm with the opposite leg. The goal is, 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 20 repetitions. So this is basically the end of basically combining the Buddha belly breathing with the core activation, with the shoulder blade or scapula stabilization, with the glute medius or glute activation. It all combines into this one great exercise. And then basically the next couple blogs, what I want to talk about is the single leg or lunge into a squat, as well as the single leg deadlift into a double leg deadlift. So I hope you guys stay tuned for more blogs.